I feel real bad about this. San Diego SDFC MLS, they're suddenly getting real thin in terms of talent, have injury problems, and they lost the young goal scorer that they had rented on loan from Denmark. Milan Iloski, his contract expired, and he's gone back. He's gone back to the Danish side. To me, they didn't want to pay the price to keep him. Now, maybe the price was exorbitant in terms of a contract extension because you have to pay the player. Iloski scored 10 goals here in a short period of time with SDFC, but you also got to pay the Danish club money to keep him for this year or maybe the next year. They let him go. How you don't pay to keep a red-hot goal scorer at this point when you're still in first place, but you're starting to give ground because of injuries. I was kind of disappointed there. They got injuries, they got goaltending injuries, etc. So that's an item. Second item, Team USA. I guess they don't listen to this podcast because I thought some of those guys, the former Team USA stars, the Lawlesses, Landon Donovans, Dempsey's, Tim Howard, I thought they owed Coach Pochettino an apology for the way they banged on him going through the Gold Cup, and then Team USA won 4 in a row and got to the finals, almost beat Mexico. Clint Dempsey goes public over this weekend. They got 9 friendlies coming up between now and the World Cup. You better win all 9. So Dempsey's issuing his public challenge of so Dempsey does not believe what Pochettino did with a young side without Pulisic and all those guys. So that's interesting. The critique has not gone away. Liverpool. English Premier League's open their camp. You know, they're kind of in the course of mourning because of the terrible auto accident that killed one of their goal scoring stars, Jota, in Spain a couple weeks ago. Liverpool's negotiating, and I don't understand this deal, to it's a $93 million purchase to get a goal scorer from Newcastle United, which is in the league, Alex Isak. This guy scored 32 goals this past season. Newcastle is going to sell their leading goal scorer to the enemy, Liverpool, in the league, even though they get $93 million. That's
a lot of bank.
That's a lot of bank. It's kind of weird. You tell me this, AC Milan. Are they going to allow this to happen? You're Christian Pulisic. There is conversation between AC Milan and Al Nassr in the Saudi Arabian League to sell Pulisic's contract to let him go to play with Cristiano Ronaldo and Sadio Mane, the 2 stars at Al Nassr. If you're Christian Pulisic, would you take blood money? Would you go to Saudi Arabia? But that's what's out there right now. Pulisic has been very quiet, has not said anything, but AC Milan's talking about a potential negotiation deal there. And the last topic is F1. I went and saw the movie.
Oh, you did?
Formula One.
Cool.
Brad Pitt movie. The cinematography is unbelievable. It takes your breath away as if you're sitting in the car with Brad Pitt during an F1 race. And actually, what they did at the English Grand Prix in Silverstone, they had 2 cars that started in the back of the pack, loaded with all the cameras, as if they were racing in the British Grand Prix. The race started, and you see Brad Pitt and his teammate in the car next to him actually driving, trying to chase all those guys on the grid.
Oh, wow.
They got live action footage.
Interesting.
It was really interesting. They did something really different, a little bit controversial. They went back into the archives of Formula One film, and they used video of 2 horrific crashes, a fiery death and another bad crash. And they used those videos to portray what happened to a young Brad Pitt, his rookie year in F1. Bad crash, driver got ejected from the car, was laying on the pavement as cars were going by. That was supposed to be Brad Pitt. They used that actual video. And another really bad crash in which the car went over the guardrail, blew up. Driver was trapped. They used that to portray his teammate getting trapped before they rescued him out of the fiery car. So, I mean, it's 2 hours and 33 minutes of action. The storyline was thin. I was kind of disappointed in the storyline. And again, I'm a sports movie goer, so I see the action and I see the footage, but it wasn't a lot of depth about Brad Pitt, the driver who nearly died as a rookie and now has come back 12 years later, etc. The storyline was weak as compared to Tom Cruise Days of Thunder, NASCAR.
Mhm.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, it did. Mhm.
Okay. Or there's another Formula One movie that's been out. It's called Rush. It's about Niki Lauda and James Hunt and their rivalry in the 70s. It led to a tragic crash and fire that almost ended Niki Lauda's life and career. Those storylines had great depth as to the background. This one was a little bit thin, but the action was cool. If you like auto racing, sit there. I guarantee you, I came out of that movie, my head was just boom, boom, because you're sitting there watching as drivers and you feel like you're in the cockpit of the car and it's crashing and spinning. And so I'd give it a letter grade of probably B to a B minus, only because the storyline was thin. But boy, the actual action footage was shocking to see. And I knew going in that they had gotten permission to use video of really bad crashes to portray what happened to Pitt, what happened to his teammates. So it's good. Go see it. If you like auto racing, it's worth a venture. Movie theater was freaking packed. It was just
Really?
It was amazing. Okay.
So I mean, last I checked, I think it's on Apple
Yes.
Plus, Apple TV Plus. So I got to check that out because we have a subscription to that. It sounds interesting. You know, it's Brad Pitt. It's kind of sexy, you know, fast cars, all that. The part that I found interesting is how they had, you know, they were filming the movie during an actual F1 race at Silverstone. But this is such a marketing vehicle for F1.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like my wife and my son have been watching a lot of, there's like a series on Netflix,
Yes.
you know, about F1 racing. I haven't watched it yet, but
It triggered last year. It was phenomenal, the response it got on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. And so it gets fans kind of connected with the sport. And what a great thing here in America as we kind of ramp up our knowledge of F1.
Yeah.
But going back to the San Diego FC, I watched the game against the Whitecaps, Vancouver. That's a good squad they were facing, and it is tough. They weren't able to keep Iloski, excuse me. He's a local guy and all of that. But what I find it interesting is the roster. You know, the way you can loan a player or borrow a player is interesting. And then they didn't have their regular keeper in there. That was a normal guy, is De Dios
Dos Santos.
Dos Santos.
And he's been hurt.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. So I was trying to kind of put two and two together there, but that was a great match. And, and they looked like they had a pretty good crowd at Snapdragon.
Well, you have 29,000. They've been in the 29 to 32,000 virtually the whole year, which drives my point. You got this young kid who came, he's from Escondido.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he scores 10 goals at this level. Now, when you work the deal to get him on loan from the Danish club, it was for a certain window of time. So the kid came here and proved he could play. So I guess the price tag to rent him for the rest of the year or on a multi-year deal went up. But geez, you're making enormous amounts of money here. Why would you not invest on this kid who has now proven himself to keep him?
Yeah, they're making more money there, but I can't imagine they're making more money than what's going on in the league that he was performing in. Wasn't he like in the Netherlands or a league like that? But, when he was at STFC, he not only scored 10 goals, he scored 4 goals in one game. And it was in like a span of like 10 or 12 minutes. I mean, the guy has the magic touch. Yeah, it's a shame they can't keep him.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed at that. Okay, that's all things off the High Speed Sports Wire.